All right, guys, what's going on? I want to talk about my what I call 100% strategy, and what it is it's short side. It's shorting after the markets have told us something. So it's not shorting, versus a level. It's not shorting, using just price action or technical analysis or anything whatsoever. It's using the past of the stock of the day, using the time frame. Yes, using technical analysis, price action a little bit, but it's not primarily based off one thing except history and the market telling us that it is so. And what I mean by that is um, when you are 100% sure that it is not going back because a stock is traded by people. And sometimes that's hard to remember because we're just looking at a screen and we're looking at little candles and we're looking at things happening. But this is representation of people's emotions of fear, greed, hope, and everything else. And the reality is when you're trading something like that and you realize that, you suddenly begin to understand where the top is for sure, and for absolute sure. And so, when you're trading, I want to go back on AIKA, and I want to go back to, I believe it was yesterday, this thing went crazy. So this is January 6th. We're going to go back, we're going to zoom in, and understanding that people trade the stock. And there's going to come a moment in each and every stock where you know that it's quote unquote done. So there's two different components to my short strategy. You can do the 100% strategy where you short when it is done, or you can do what I would call like a 90% strategy where you would actually just short different huge red candle trend breaks and level breakdowns and so on and so forth. I can show you guys both of those components, but one of the main component I want to show you is what I would call the 100% trade. And this happened dozens and dozens of times this week. I'm just going to pick this one just because this literally happened, and I saw it. I didn't have borrows, and I literally shorted like 10 million shares in my paper count because I was just so short, and I just had to do something because it was just ridiculous. So first of all is understanding the news. Step one: what is the news worth? So AIK had patent news. It's worth zero. So understanding it's worth zero. Step one, so you know that this has no reason to be up in the first place. You know the kind of people that are buying the stock. They're not, actual real investors or anything like that. This is all a bunch of retail and manipulators, and that's all this is. So understanding the news, understanding who is buying the stock. Step one. Step two is trying to find. It's just waiting actually for your moment. So this is actually quite a bit less stressful than most strategies or methods of trading you're probably used to because usually you'd be hoping for the top, looking for the top, when's the top, what can I short, why can I short, what can I short, and let me ask you, why would you short 1,000 shares on 100 crappy setups, making money sometimes and losing money other times when you could short 100,000 shares for sure and not even break a sweat? So that's my question to you, but to each his own. So I definitely do both just because I want to be active when I'm trading. But so I want to go over the stock. So let's go over the stock together. So 8 a.m. had news, patent news worth zero. And I really wanted to find the top. And typically around 8:20, 8:30, this could probably start to peak out. So yeah, I would have shorted there, probably. Small size, and it might have worked out cool. But again, we're looking for the trade, right? And so part of my strategy is time frame. Part of my strategy is price action technicals, which we'll go over soon. But history is important. So you have to be watching the stock for the 100% strategy to work. And what I mean by that is you have to understand what's the flow, what's the spread, how's it moving, and things that have happened, okay? Because now we're getting towards 9 a.m. Stock had a top, came down, consolidating on VWAP, started to curl, Okay, start a curl, and you got to understand who the people are. So there's a lot of shorts in this. Obviously, this is up 100%. This is up 100% on no news. You can guarantee the reason I had no borrows is because everybody's short. Everybody and their grandmother is short. And whoever is buying this and whatnot, it's really some retail chasers, some lucky guys in there, but there's some big time manipulators in there. You can bet your life on it. You can bet they sold a bunch there for sure. There's a big exchange there of shorts and longs. But so let's understand what's going on. The mentality of what's going on, understanding people, understanding psychology. The stock just had higher lows, held VWAP twice, came up, came over a prior level, came up again, to another higher level. And if you're here at 9:01, 9 a.m. shuffle, and you're short, you're probably freaking the heck out, right? You might even start covering right there, and you're definitely going to cover there on the break of that level there. You might not, sure, if you're weak, but you can bet like some people freaked out a little bit there. Came down, and oh, what a beautiful stuff, right? Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Maybe even some more shorts piled in. 9:05, maybe this is just going to dump and crap into open, right? So yeah, I admit, again, maybe would have dabbled there for a short before, maybe would have shorted here, cool, a few thousand shares would have made some money. I don't deny those are bad trades, but we're talking about my strategy today. So came down, and that's where you thought it would have been done. So that could be a little bit of, again, always using the past, always understanding who's moving the stock, what's happening. This is where the manipulators started to buy the stock. Weak traders aren't going to be buying the stock here like this. It just tried to break high today. It failed, came down, broke VWAP. Nobody weak hands is buying here. Everybody's shorting. Nobody's covering. You really think people want to cover here? Very few people would cover there. You probably should, but let's face it. If you shorted here, people aren't going to cover there because we're zero. I'm going to cover down here, right? Why wouldn't you cover down there? So you got to understand that component. The time frame, 9:10, is getting towards the open. People think it's done. It's going to flush into the open. It's done, and it started to grind up and failed. Okay, so maybe you're adding short, maybe whatever. You just kind of ignore the fact that it did that. It was long, it's short. Everybody's kind of selling now. It's done. And so, I was looking for my moment, and when just under broke, maybe a few people had some stops in who were long, and reclaimed and just completely got bought up. And there is the squeeze. So it came down, failed. You have to understand again what's going on here. Bought up from manipulators, failed, more shorts piled in, because it says failed 3 times now. You can bet the shorts are in. News is worth 0. And stock has come up and it has just ripped a new one. And you got to understand now, right? Anybody who has stops, anybody who's weak, anybody who has a mind about pre-market highs, stopping out, holding pre-market highs, all those people have covered and all those people have sold into the manipulators who caused this move. So they can make this go as far as they want, and that's the reason this is not a short yet, because this could go to 2, go to 3. I don't know. I don't know, right? I don't know how much they want to squeeze it. I don't know what they want to do with the stock. That is up to them. So it came down. Pre-market highs is always important. That is the level that is important. Like 80 to 90% stocks that reject pre-market highs fail statistically. You can go look at a bunch of them. If they hold pre-market highs, it's probably going to go a lot higher. So it came down to a key level, and it wanted to test that level. So you could have shorted here, risking here, but I don't know. I personally wanted to because it was 160s, and that was kind of my target. Parabolic open, high volume was my target. Again, the volume matters. Look at the exchange of shares going on there. And so understanding now that everybody has been squeezed out, probably who is going to be squeezed out. Especially, looking back at this in time, it's not too bad. But you're sweating right there, 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes up there. You're probably squeezed out. 4 minutes is a long time if you're in a big position short and you're shorting down here. So what I was looking for now was confirmation of the pre-market fail. I was looking for confirmation that this was the top. Now all the shorts out. Now all the longs are in. Everybody's placed their bets. So they've placed their bets, right? All the good shorts are in. All the weak shorts are out. All the weak longs are in. All the smart longs are out. I'll repeat that. All the smart longs are out. All the smart shorts are in. All the weak shorts are out, and all the weak longs are out. I don't know if that's too confusing, but you guys get the point if you go back and replay it. And now we're waiting for the reaction, whether it was going to be, and went one candle too far, whether it was the smart longs who were in and they're pushing up higher, or what's going on. Because you can guarantee what's going to happen next. The smart longs were not caught off guard, and just completely slammed and was done. And that's it right there, because there's no reason to buy this again. All the shorts, anybody who shorted up here or even up here who wanted out, they are now let out. They're let out. All the shorts are let out. And so there's no reason to squeeze this back up. Fundamentally, it's worth 0. The news is worth 0. They've all been squeezed out, and now everybody is going to have insane selling pressure to come back up here. And, they might even be afraid to do so because it's been so manipulated. All the longs have to sell now who were going to long pre-market highs. There's no real reason to long. You could long the dip, I guess, but, and yeah, so just understanding the psychology that now anybody who's long, that's your sell signal. Anybody who's short is going to add short, get in short again. They've all been, there's no shorts that are stuck anymore, and the stock is worth 0. And just understanding how we got to this point. We know at the end of the day or at the end of the week that this stock is going to be at 0. We all know that. I don't care if you're a pumper. I don't care if you're whatever. 99% of people know that, if it's worth no news, at the end of the day, it's going to go back to where it came from. And so it's just a matter of how it gets there. And that's all the market is. That's all trading is, and figuring out where the top is or how to sell higher and buy lower. And so there's going to be a top to every stock. And there was no reason for this stock to come back. And in my opinion, you can short full size of your account on anything above that candle level. Anything above that is a full size short. And the best part is you don't even have to risk high a day or above high a day, what it is above high a day. Why the heck would you risk up there? Because if the stock comes back anywhere and grinds around 160, 158, 160, then it's grinding and holding around an area that the market said, no way, it's not worth that. And then it's not a short, then it's something else. So you can literally risk 10 cents on full size, knowing exactly what's happening, knowing exactly on the news, and knowing how we got to this point of trapping, release, where the longs are, where the shorts are, who's the stock, what it's worth, etc., etc. And just to put this into perspective, obviously, so anything above there, waiting for your pops. And, if you're really not comfortable with that, you can wait for confirmation. You can short huge size, so medium size, add huge size, average around 147. And you can wait for confirmation if you want. Entirely up to you. Take a look at, support level, and, just watch price action, and just came down and is fading. And continue to add. If that's your strategy, continue to add. Then that's entirely up to you. But obviously pay yourself into 10:30 a.m. lull time. Very important, and just continue to add smaller size on pops and pay yourself along the way. Hope that, guys, was pretty easy to understand.